if you rotate it like that, we could... Can I scale it down? We can move it like that, and then we could just extend the antenna like that. That looks real cool. But let's be a little bit more sensible. We can just put it here, really. Just put it like that on the side. That extends, and that'll do enough. But let's also include spares. Actually, we have the space in our inventory to include spares. That's way too many. 2 will be okay. There we go. 2 is already too much. Maybe it would also be good to include a... spare photovoltaic panels. There we go. 3 of them in case we just need to adjust anything or change anything. No, we're okay with this thing landing. Don't need any additional legs. We don't need any aerodynamics. I think we have this thing designed quite well. It should be good. Do you see, by the way, how much easier this is than the Apollo 11 model that we used? That was more for fun and for excitement. Now this one's for sensible control. Okay. We're gonna need to give it some RCS fuel. Ideally, I'd like these placed somewhere a little bit carefully. Where do we have the space? Don't really have that much space left. We're really taking all the space we need. I'm starting to think that maybe I could place that magnetometer somewhere else. So we could then place these RCS somewhere else. Maybe it's 12 RCS that's in there. There's 60 in this. Maybe it'd be worthwhile to actually attach just one of these. Now I think that if you resize these, they just have 7, so that's not that good. And these are enormous. Let's see. My word, has it been that long? I've been streaming for that long already? Time flies, and it feels like we've accomplished so little. Oh, here's my thought. This magnetometer boom, we can place it like that. That is full size, fits in the actual thing, which gives us a little bit more room to possibly fit this in. All we need to figure out is where we can place that without clipping too much. And again, there's no rule against it. It does, if you clip too much, that is a recipe to summon the Kraken, which again is what the what Kerbal players call the game crashing because of weird reasons. You know what? I might just be able to place this one here on the side. It's a little uglier, but I'm okay with it. So we have RCS fuel. Now it is time to place it. Now, here's something I want to try out. This is new, our RCS builder. I'm not quite sure what these do exactly. I think one says we don't have any RCS to rotate, we don't have any RCS to translate. And this is the red center of mass is dry weight. So if you see, if we change this, it turns out exactly on that spot. So that helps us figure out where we need to be. And as well, this helps us figure out where's the lift. So we can now, for instance, put let's say we put 3 here. Let's go for translation. So this tells me I have translation. And you can check all of your translations. I have no idea how much I'm seriously going to have to check. Oh, I see. Look at this. When I'm blasting aft, so when the blue ones check out, when that is blasted, I move in this direction. Now let's check that here, for instance. What about translation? If I now blast in a different way, you can see that if I want to translate, I need to blast in multiple directions. So I'm going to be less efficient with my RCS fuel. So that already causes trouble. So we want to make sure that we have these at set distances, like strict right angles. Hey there, Hooter. Talking about rubbing guy on stream 2 as violation. Oh no! Says we hear about aft blasting. Yes, we're aft blasting the lamp genie. Huthor, that thing you posted with the Geralt, the Witcher 3 mod, that stuff was hilarious. That slide mod was amazing. Okay, that'll do the trick. It's not good looking, but it'll do. So, translation, reference center of mass, or dry center of mass. This tells me I have 28.5 delta V. Now, if I blast aft, that will move me in that direction. Still don't know what this little red arrow is, but okay. Starboard. Look at how these are also blasting. That's a little bit weird. But okay, starboard works. Port, yeah. How about attitude control? That's interesting. Engines? So I'm trying to figure out how this works exactly. Now I wonder if it will be... Oh, hello. Hello. Look at that rotation being off-center. Oh. Look at that, the weight is off. The dry weight. Oh, wet tank it's right in the middle, but dry tank it shifts towards this. That causes differences. That's interesting. Made a habit of quick loading in Skellige when roaming the Southern Mountains simply because there were some gnarly slopes. Oh man, I kid you not. I want to play that game again. Oh, now you see. If I have one and I want to rotate, my rotation is going to be like that. It's going to be very strange. So this does help you design quite well. If I have two, the rotation is going to be strange again. You can only have a limited rotation. This is fascinating. Okay, how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna make this work? So here's the thing, the rotation is going to be difficult. As you can see, it's... I guess that's with a dry mass? No, that's anyway, the rotation is gonna be strange, unless I guess... Yep, there you go. So when it comes to rotation, unless you put it exactly on the center of mass, you're going to get some weird side effects. So, what if instead of that one, we use these ports? It still gets me angled a little bit, but it's a little bit more solid. I don't understand why they move so much, though. Okay, this is very tricky because we need RCS now. With the mod that we have, we need RCS. There's no escaping its use. I wonder if I put something like this there. So there's no one set that we can do to fix this. That's the problem. So I'm probably gonna want one up there, I think, even though that's not very aerodynamic. And maybe one down here. It is supremely ugly, but it does get the job done, I think. Okay. How much delta V do I have? 28 meters per second. And 1 minute of full burn time. This is 1,000 delta V, which should be enough to land us on Minimus. This craft should be able to do everything we need it to. Now this has 8 thrust to weight. So let's see how small we can get. What if we use this one? Has 2 thrust to weight. It's 1,000 delta V. So this has more delta V. It's more efficient. But this one still manages to lift up. After all, it is Minimus. So let's see what we can do. This one is 320. That's weird. The ISP is 320 vacuum. This one's 345. Okay. It's 290. That's 290. So what that means is that this one is still the most efficient. So we probably need to scale this down. Because it's 157 thrust to weight. The delta V goes up by 40. And we have far more burn time. We have 20 minutes of burn time. What that means, of course, is that we have less power. But we also have far less mass. About 400, so that's pretty good. This is our Minimus lander, so let's call this our Minimus exploration vehicle. Code name, what's our code name? You think of a nice code name. Okay. This needs to be put in a low orbit of Minimus. So we need from a low orbit of Kerbal to go to a low orbit of Minimus. That is 1,200 meters per second. Let's get that done. We're gonna need a small decoupler. And, you know what? I also want that in a lovely interstage. Now that I know that this is possible, I'm going to want to do this often. Just because it makes it look like one solid rocket. Not very well, granted, but it's still cool. Okay, this is about the last thing we need to unlock. Yeah, that's perfectly right. That last bit here, yeah, that is definitely something we can dump at the latest. We don't need that open during the flight. These can be combined though. This definitely needs to eject before the other one does though. Let's make that two sides. There we go. So 1020. Now this is a transfer stage, so that is in Kerbal non-atmospheric. This is probably too much. Yeah, that is way too much. So this will probably be too little. Nope. There we go. 1340. This is exactly what we need. Now we have our power here. So that's going to be okay. But since we now need RCS in space, we're going to need to give this baby a little bit of extra RCS. How much RCS, you ask? That is a good question. I don't know. Let's give it a little bit of RCS. These, though... Ideally, I want these disabled at the start. This is going to be a problem because I'm going to forget that we have those in there. No, wait. Let's enable them. But we're going to need to make sure we transfer this monopropellant over to in there. Maybe, actually, it's better to make this bigger monopropellant. Needing more monopropellant on this side, but adding some monopropellant control here. Because this is the spot that's going to be in space and doing the transfer burn. That is 1287, which is good, and the rest needs 4080 to get this baby into space. So let's get a bigger... Here's a weird thing. I want the normal decoupler, really? But this thing is so much smaller, such better profile. Okay, the rest of this needs 1040. Now this is the point where I would have liked the larger engine. But let's see how far we can get. Now, we remember, of course, we had quite a bit of trouble controlling our usual winglets. So let's controlling our previous ascent stages. So let's get something heavy duty on there. 3133. What happens if we put these babies on there? That gets us 4217. That is what I like to see. Now, we're gonna need these babies to be aerodynamic. Whoop. And of course, we're gonna need to strut them so that they don't start wobbling in flight. Let's move those downwards. Okay. This is excellent. Actually, ooh, this engine is not going to have the thrust to weight. Really now? Atmospheric? How on earth does that engine not have the thruster weight needed? You know what? I want to give it a try anyway. I shouldn't. This is not going to end well. These things blast for 1 minute though. I'd like a lower profile engine. You know, another one of those, but a poodle, but that's not going to work out. Okay. Minmus. This is going to get us a minute up in the air. I'm very worried that this thing, because that profile, that 0.65 is not going to make it. Its max is 1.77 though. You know what? Let's just give it a try. Let's just go for it. We have our Kerbals. Let's... Wow! Okay, give me a second. Wow, the camera is not liking the green screen today. That is a little bit weird. Okay, let's give me a second. There we go. What can I do about this? Okay, I have an idea. Hi, Kitty. Relaxing in a nice chair. Max, relaxing all cool. Shooting some b-ball. There we go. That largely finished it by putting a chair against it. And then I think if I rotate like that makes it worse, that makes it sort of better. What is going on here? Changing the color intensity, that makes it worse. That sort of changes it. Changing the contrast. Sorry about this. Oh, that makes it a lot worse as well. What if I mess with the white balance? What can I... Whoa! Hey, would you look at that? Okay, sure, that sort of did it. I'm not gonna ask any questions. Okay, Minmus. I think we're good to go. I think we're good to go with our Minmus mission. I think that's what Muffy was talking about with it crashing if it takes more than 2 gigabytes of video memory. So I'm gonna boot up the 64 bits version, which means I'm gonna need to change the game capture to 64 bits. There we go. And just try that then. Wow, I have to say, this is taking more time than I thought it would. I can't believe we've been going for 3 hours already. Did I start later? Did time move more quickly? What's going on here? Because I was actually thinking, hey, you know what? Maybe if I just do one mission, I'll cut the stream a little bit earlier today. Nope, apparently not. Well, I was thinking of maybe taking some time and next week is when my job starts again as well, so I was thinking of just taking a little bit more time. Tomorrow I'm definitely cutting it a little bit earlier. Okay, let's try this again. By the way, what game do you think should be next? Where would you like to see the stream move on to? Okay, let's try and launch this baby. This is how we just designed it. Let's launch it. Kismet. Yes. The universe is conspiring against me in order to play more Kerbal. Okay. Jetfin, Bill, and Bob. Let's go for it. 3, 2, 1, liftoff. By the way, I really like how this thing now does indeed look like a rocket, because it's all covered up in one go, and the command module is at the top there. Why can I not? Oh, these winglets are not movable? Are you kidding me? These are not the mobile winglets. I've been an idiot. Abort sequence time. I love it. They automatically deploy their little parachutes. This is amazing. Well, that ejection module is paying off dividends. That time again, reaching the twilight of the eternal summer vacation. Yeah. Yeah, that has to happen as well. It's a shame. Completely unrelated, you feel at this point you have watched the appendices and making of documents for Lord of the Rings more than you have the actual movies. That is impressive. I've watched snippets of those. I haven't actually watched through them. But I'm saving those up, actually, to watch them with Tracy. Wait, what? Because of the time warp? We lost Bob because of the time warp? That is not fair. I should have quick saved. We lost Bob because we time warped as he fell to the earth. I am incensed. I'm not happy with this. Nice ICBM. Yeah, it kind of worked out like that, didn't it? Jetfin, recover. Yes. Bill, recover. This is the most anticlimactic way for one of the 3 main Kerbals to die. That was stupid. Yeah, no kidding, Vaden. This is saltiness. This is where I would have liked... Next time, I need to remember F5. Press F5. Our scientist got killed because of time warp. Hey, let's see if that parses. Hello, Gamebugs, my old friend. You've come and taken a Kerbal yet again.